Welcome to the garden at the house. I had a few people asking me to give them a little tour of the garden and some different stuff that I've planted around the house. So here we go. So around the front door, we've got these tulips. I've actually been thinking about getting rid of those though. I don't really like them. I don't know. They just seem too plain. So I just pulled the tulips up on the left side here and planted something different for my daughter. So I had a brilliant idea. So I buy roses for my daughter a lot. She's 3 years old. I've always bought her roses every couple weeks. Our job as a father to show the girls how they're supposed to be treated. So, I've always done that. So I thought, hey, this might be cheaper. So I bought a couple of these knockout roses. Just planted those about a week ago. Tore everything out and derooted. There was a whole bunch of crap in here that had been in there for years and years. It just needed to go. So anyway, planted these pink knockout roses for my daughter, which she loves, but I really like these right here. These are like almost like a dark pink red almost. Those are my daughter's favorite right there, and it's doing well. And give that a year or so, and those things will be pretty big. I can't remember what these are called, but I bought those as like a little gift. They had them on sale for like $1.50 at Lowe's, and with the plants. So I bought one of each of those, and then just figured it would be kind of appropriate because they color coordinate with the roses. So just thought I'd plant those. I'm not really sure how big they get. I can't even remember what they're called, but I thought they were pretty. And they seem pretty hardy. They're doing well since I planted them a couple weeks ago. So like I said, I derooted everything out of here and pulled all this soil out. There was like 3 or 4 snakes in there. Like, it was yuck. So anyway, I'm still figuring out what I'm going to plant right there in that corner. Not really sure yet. Probably another rose bush would be my best guess. Got your Gerbers. That's some kind of bulb that I planted. Can't remember what that was called, but it's finally growing. And then there's this little plant behind it with this cool pink flower. So I figured I wouldn't pull that out because that looks cool. I'm not sure what it is or even if it's a weed, but I like it. So these are some kind of daisies, I think. Thinking about pulling those out too, but I pulled everything else up out of here. This was covered with weeds in here and just a bunch of crap. The grass in this yard and the weeds are horrible, so I had to do a lot of work in here. This was garlic that my girlfriend had planted at the end of last year before the winter hit, and they're not doing too well. So those are about to get yanked out. I just germinated, we should say, like about 100 jalapeno seeds. I really didn't know that all of them would take, but I went and checked on them about 4 or 5 days later, and all of them had sprouted. So I ended up planting this whole area full of these jalapeno seeds. So I'm going to have a buku amount of jalapeno plants. Bought this cool little guy right here from one of those things at Harris Teeter, I think it was. Anyway, it's a cool little cactus. So I figured I'd plant it out beside the agave. So it'd be kind of like a cactus and agave. There's another Gerber that's sprouting. Another Gerber right there. Planted some more jalapenos right here. All this stuff right here is going to go. This is a rosemary bush that had not been taken care of and had been there for years. So I actually just pruned that back. And as you know, when something is unhealthy and you prune it back, it doesn't look the best in the world, but it's starting to come back to life now, and it smells really good when you walk up the stairway. So they say it's supposed to be good luck to have rosemary at your walkway. Not sure why, but that's what my girlfriend's grandma says, so I'm going to roll with it. Guess it's some kind of old-timey thing. So anyway, I got cilantro and stuff in the back, and I really like to eat fresh cilantro. I think it is absolutely amazing. So I watched this video, and I actually tried it, and look what's happening. So I went and bought one of these suckers. It's about a foot deep. It's long. I went and bought 2 packs of coriander / cilantro seeds, and I watched this guy from the Middle East use one of his techniques on the video, and I appreciate it, buddy, if you happen to see this video, because I'm using your technique. So you take like a ruler and you make like a straight line in the soil with the ruler about yay deep on that side. So you've got like 2 vertical lines. I've got them probably about 3.5 inches apart. So anyway, you take all the coriander seeds, you put them in a, on a hard surface. You take like a smooth round rock and you break all the coriander seeds in the smooth, with the rock, because in the coriander seed there's like 2 levels of seeds. There's a seed inside of a seed. So the coriander itself smells amazing, but it's got a completely different smell, the seeds do, than the cilantro, which is crazy. So it's like 2 different things that that you could utilize if you wanted to keep the seeds from your cilantro and, have those kind of seeds, as fragrant. You can use those in cooking and stuff as well. But I planted these, I don't know, about a week ago with all the crushed up seeds, and I crushed them all up, with that smooth rock, and planted them all in here, and they're all sprouting. They just all came up within the last couple of days. So this is going to be awesome, because I guess from what I understood in his video, it takes about a month. These suckers grow really fast. You just have to keep the soil super moist. They love water. So yeah, I think I actually even took 1 or 2 of my pepper seeds that I had, and I stuck them in the corners here too. But I just ran out of places to put them. I even put some in my tomato bed all around the corners. So I've got marigolds going around the tomato plants to keep bugs away. Marigolds, lavender, lemon balm, spearmint, mint, stuff like that keeps mosquitoes and bugs away. So my girlfriend had a bunch of these marigolds planted in the middle here. So I had this brilliant thought that if we were going to plant, a bunch of varieties of tomatoes, which we did, that I would actually I would pull up all the marigolds and try to save them, get the root systems, and I planted them as like a boundary, as you can see, like going around the tomato, the tomato garden. And so far it's working great. I mean, I don't have any bugs eating any of these. I mean, these suckers are healthy as can be. So yeah, I've got aroma here, which is doing great. It's actually just got its first fruits right here. And it's smaller than these big boys. I actually was kind of thinking that it wasn't going to be a big producer, but it actually had the first fruits of the crop. So there's some growing inside of the big boy here. I think there's 2 or 3 inside of there. There's 2 or 3 inside of here. This is called a centennial. This one actually just took. There's some fruits that are about to start forming right there in those flowers. I'll also show you a little trick that I learned from an old gardener guy. He's been a farmer for years and years. He told me that when you start to have your flowers like this, fondle them for about 10 seconds. And, come out and do that every couple days. If you fondle your flowers, they actually pollinate each other. So it's kind of like and you're not going to hurt them, I promise. People think, oh, they're delicate. Don't worry about it. Fondle them. It'll be okay, promise. And they actually pollinate each other. So it's kind of a sure shot way to make sure that all your flowers pollinate and produce the maximum amount of fruits off of your tomato plants. So I do that with all of my flowers. I fondle them, play with them for a minute. So I thought that was kind of funny, but it works. I'm telling you, the guy told me to do it. I've done it, and these plants are young. I've had them in there for about a month, and they've done great, and they're all already producing fruit, except this. Well, actually, the centennial just started underneath one of those little buds there. So, yeah, they all have fruit on them now, which is awesome. So, take you into the backyard. So I think these are some kind of squash that we planted. Where's the little thing? Yeah, these are some kind of squash, and they're about to start producing because each one just spit off this long skinny thing, which just happened in the last day or two. Now I noticed one thing about these squashes: they love water. I can't remember if these were the yellow squash or if these were zucchini. I can't remember, but it's one of the two. I think my girlfriend threw away the the tags that were in there. But anyway, I usually keep those with all the plants that kind of look the same, just so I remember what they are. These are either squash or zucchini. They're doing really well. We've got basil, sweet basil, which are doing great. So in between the basil, I put lavender plant, which is actually starting to flower as well, as you can see. These things smell amazing. My daughter loves to come out here and rub her fingers in the lavender and then smell them, and it smells absolutely amazing. You can actually make essential oils, all kinds of cool stuff with it, and that's what I plan on doing with some of the lavender, some of my lemon balm. What else was I going to do that with? Yeah, the lemon balm and the spearmint, I think, and the mint. I think I am planning on making some essential oils and some homemade bug sprays to give out for Christmas time presents and stuff like that. So anyway, sweet basil, the lavender in the middle, sweet basil. As you can see, no bugs are eating the basil. So the lavender does a great job at keeping the bugs away, as well as smelling great. Lavender also keeps mosquitoes away. So as you can see, you know, we like to hang out on the porch. So we wanted to put certain things out here that keep the mosquitoes away. So the lemon balm is amazing. So I've got, this is my mint right here. This is spearmint right here. This is the lemon balm. And this one is sweet mint right there on the end. So this is kind of like my little mint box right here. You can use all of this actually to rub on your skin to keep bugs away as like a homemade deterrent, and it works better than like the DEET stuff that you could buy. So, you know, forget buying that toxic stuff. You could just, especially the lemon balm, I think that's my favorite, to rub around your ankles and your waist and stuff like that. Keeps mosquitoes and bugs and fleas and all kinds of stuff away. So I love those plants right there, as well as making essential oils with them, which is awesome. This one right here, I believe this is, I think that's the squash. So yeah, that one and that one, I get them confused. My girlfriend actually planted those two. Those are her two things right there. All the rest of it is me. So yeah, this one right here is a hot and spicy oregano. This is my first cilantro plant, which you've seen I've cut a lot of. Yeah, I've cut a lot off of the cilantro plant, and I love using it. So that's why I decided to plant that whole big box full of cilantro. That is garden sage, which is absolutely amazing to dry up and use in your cooking, along with that oregano. It's pretty awesome. So then we'll go over this way. We've got some certain things for hummingbirds, because we love hummingbirds around here. This, I believe, is called like a bee balm, I think, something like that. Anyway, look at it. I believe her grandmother planted this a couple years ago, and it went crazy over the past couple years. And it's anyway, I believe it flowers. Looks kind of funny. I told her that if somebody walked by the yard, they would probably confuse this for something that you're not supposed to have growing in your yard. But anyway, so then we'll come around here. So we have some more hummingbird stuff. We have some sort of salvia growing right here, which is doing very well. And then we have these, which the hummingbirds absolutely love. I see the hummingbirds out here eating off of these all the time. So then we'll go up where I moved all my peppers. The bugs were trying to get at my peppers, so I put them all up here with the citronella plant, trying to keep the bugs away. So yeah, they're all doing good. This is some kind of plant that actually came in with the citronella. It was in the same plant, but I separated them. It's two different plants. So this is growing super hardy. It loves water. It appears to be some kind of squash or melon, cantaloupe, something. It's a mystery plant. If anybody knows what this is, leave a comment, let me know. That's what it's looking like in there. I mean, this sucker is hardy, whatever it is. It's growing. So my Cajun bell is actually starting to put off a little fruit. It's starting to get fruit all over it. This thing is, this is actually one of those award winners, the AAS winner. I've heard this is supposed to be amazing. It's supposed to be a sweet It's like a little mini sweet bell pepper, about that big, that actually has bite like a jalapeno, which is, I think, will be absolutely amazing to just eat raw or cook with or whatever. My jalafuegos are doing great. They're still at that topping phase where they're in that stunted phase, and they're just, you know, getting heartier. My habanero is doing well. Santa Fe Grande are doing good. We have our citronella plant that we planted. Hot banana pepper is doing good. It's still in the stunted phase where it's starting to bush. This is my regular jalapeno plant. It is doing great, actually. I've had this one longer than any of the others, except for this regular green pepper. So these were I topped these at about the same time, and these are doing great. So, you know, I know it scares people to think about topping, but I'm telling you, when it comes to peppers, that's what you want to do. So this jalapeno right here is doing amazing. This green pepper plant is out of this world bushy. So yeah, this is, and then I've got this huge aloe plant that I had for a couple years, and I actually separated it until, oh, there's a hummingbird right there. Oh, he just flew away. Just missed him. He had a red head. Cool. So yeah, they're not the healthiest looking aloes in the world, but they had all the whole thing had turned brown. So I separated them and put them in like 8 different potting plants now. So we have like 8 different aloe plants, and they're finally starting to turn green again and recover. Thank goodness. So yeah, those are the little aloes finally coming back to life. Yep. So anyway, that's the garden. Just want to give everybody a little tour. And yeah, happy gardening, everybody.